Pericles, Prince of Tyre, Act 5. Marina, thus the brothel scapes and chances into an honest house, our story says. She sings like one immortal, and she dances as goddess-like to her admired lays. Deep clerks she dumbs, and with her nearly composes nature's own shape of bud, bird, branch, or berry, that even her art sisters the natural roses, her inkle silk twin with the rubied cherry. That pupils lacks she none of noble race, who pour their bounty on her and her gain. She gives the cursed bawd, here we her place, and to her father turn our thoughts again. Where we left him on the sea, we there him lost. Where, driven before the winds, he is arrived, here where his daughter dwells, and on this coast. Suppose him now at anchor, the city strived, God Neptune's annual feast to keep, from whence Lysimachus our Tyrian ship espies, his banners sable trimmed with rich expense, and to him in his barge with fervor hies. In your supposing once more put your sight of heavy Pericles, think this his bark, where what is done in action more if might shall be discovered. Please you sit and hark. Scene 1. On board Pericles' ship off Mytilene, a closed pavilion on deck with a curtain before it. Pericles within it reclined on a couch. Enter Helicanus, to him 2 sailors, one of Tyre, the other of Mytilene. Where is your lord, Helicanus? He can resolve you. Oh, here he is. Sir, there is a barge put off from Mytilene, and in it is Lysimachus, the governor, who craves to come aboard. What is your will? That he have his. Call up some gentlemen. Ho, gentlemen, my lord calls. Doth your lordship call? Gentlemen, there is some of worth would come aboard. I pray greet him fairly. Sir, this is the man that can in aught you would resolve you. Hail, reverend sir, the gods preserve you. And you, to outlive the age I am, and die as I would do. You wish me well, being on shore, honoring of Neptune's triumphs. Seeing this goodly vessel ride before us, I made it to know of whence you are. First, what is your place? I am the governor of this place you lie before. Sir, our vessel is of Tyre, in it the king, a man who for this 3 months hath not spoken to any one, nor taken sustenance, but to prorogue his grief. Upon what ground is his distemperature? 'Twould be too tedious to repeat, but the main grief springs from the loss of a beloved daughter and wife. May we not see him? You may, but bootless is your sight. He will not speak to any. Yet let me obtain my wish. Behold him. This was a goodly person, till the disaster that one mortal night drove him to this. Sir King, all hail. The gods preserve you. Hail, royal sir. It is in vain. He will not speak to you. Sir, we have a maid in Mytilene. I durst wager would win some words of him. 'Tis well bethought. She, questionless with her sweet harmony, and other chosen attractions, would allure and make a battery through his deafened parts, which now are midway stopped. She is all happy as the fairest of all, and with her fellow maids is now upon the levee shelter that abuts against the island side. Sure, all effectless, yet nothing will omit that bears recovery's name. But since your kindness we have stretched thus far, let us beseech you, that for our gold we may provision have, wherein we are not destitute for want, but weary for the staleness. O sir, a courtesy, which if we should deny the most just God, for every graff would send a caterpillar, and so inflict our province. Yet once more let me entreat to know at large the cause of your king's sorrow. Sit, sir, I will recount it you, but see, I am prevented. Oh, here's the lady that I sent for. Welcome, fair one. Is it not a goodly presence? She's a gallant lady. She's such a one that, were I well assured, came of a gentle kind and noble stock, I'd wish no better choice, and think me rarely to wed. Fair one, all goodness that consists in beauty, expect even here, where is a kingly patient, if that thy prosperous and artificial feet can draw him but to answer thee in aught, thy sacred physic shall receive such pay as thy desires can wish. Sir, I will use my utmost skill in his recovery, provided that none but I and my companion maid be suffered to come near him. Come, let us leave her, and the gods make her prosperous. Marked he your music? No, nor looked on us. See, she will speak to him. Hail, sir, my lord, lend ear. Hum, ha! I am a maid, my lord, that never before invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that may be hath endured a grief might equal yours, if both were justly weighed. Though wayward, fortune did malign my state, my derivation was from ancestors, who stood equivalent with mighty knight kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage, and to the world and awkward casualties bound me in servitude. I will desist, but there is something glows upon my cheek, and whispers in mine ear, go not till he speak. My fortunes, parentage, good parentage, to equal mine, was it not thus? What say you? I said, my lord, if you did know my parentage, you would not do me violence. I do think so. Pray you turn your eyes upon me. You're like something that, what country woman hear of these shores? No, nor of any shores, yet I was mortally brought forth, and am no other than I appear. I am great with woe, and shall deliver weeping. My dearest wife was like this maid, and such a one my daughter might have been. My queen's square brows, her stature to an inch, as wand-like straight, as silver-voiced, her eyes as jewel-like, and cased as richly in pace another Juno, who starves the ears she feeds, and makes them hungry the more she gives them speech. Where do you live? Where I am but a stranger, from the deck you may discern the place. Where were you bred, and how achieved you these endowments which you make more rich to owe? If I should tell my history, it would seem like lies disdained in the reporting. Prithee speak, falseness cannot come from thee, for thou lookest modest as justice, and thou seemest a palace for the crown truth to dwell in. I will believe thee, and make my senses credit thy relation to points that seem impossible, for thou lookest like one I loved indeed. What were thy friends? Didst thou not say, when I did push thee back, which was when I perceived thee, that thou camest from good descending? So indeed I did. Report thy parentage. I think thou saidst thou hadst been tossed from wrong to injury, and that thou thoughtst thy griefs might equal mine if both were opened. Some such thing I said, and said no more, but what my thoughts did warrant me was likely. Tell thy story. If thine considered prove the 1,000 part of my endurance, thou art a man, and I have suffered like a girl. Yet thou dost look like patience gazing on kings' graves, and smiling extremity out of act. What were thy friends? How lost thou them? Thy name, my most kind virgin, recount, I do beseech thee. Come, sit by me. My name is Marina. Oh, I am mocked, and thou by some incensed god sent hither to make the world to laugh at me. Patience, good sir, or here I'll cease. Nay, I'll be patient. Thou little knowest how thou dost startle me to call thyself Marina. The name was given me by one that had some power, my father a king. Oh, how? A king's daughter, and called Marina? You said you would believe me, but not to be a troubler of your peace, I will end here. But are you flesh and blood? Have you a working pulse, and are no fairy? Motion? Well, speak on. Where were you born, and wherefore called Marina? Called Marina, for I was born at sea. At sea? What mother? My mother was the daughter of a king, who died the minute I was born, as my good nurse Lycorida hath oft delivered weeping. Oh, stop there a little. This is the rarest dream that ever dulled sleep, did mock sad fools withal. This cannot be my daughter buried. Well, where were you bred? I'll hear you more to the bottom of your story, and never interrupt you. You scorn. Believe me, 'twere best I did give over. I will believe you by the syllable of what you shall deliver. Yet give me leave. How came you in these parts? Where were you bred? The king my father did in Tharsis leave me, till cruel Cleon with his wicked wife did seek to murder me, and having wooed a villain to attempt it, who having drawn to do it, a crew of pirates came and rescued me, brought me to Metelyne. But, good sir, whither will you have me? Why do you weep? It may be you think me an imposture. No, good faith, I am the daughter to King Pericles, if good King Pericles be. Ho, Helicanus, calls my lord. Thou art a grave and noble counselor, most wise and general. Tell me, if thou canst, what this maid is, or what is like to be, that thus hath made me weep. I know not, but here's the regent, sir, of Metelyne, speaks nobly of her. She never would tell her parentage, being demanded that she would sit still and weep. O Helicanus, strike me, honored sir, give me a gash, put me to present pain, lest this great sea of joys rushing upon me overbear the shores of my mortality, and drown me with their sweetness. O come hither, thou that begettest him that did thee beget, thou that wast born at sea, buried at Tharsis, and found at sea again. O Helicanus, down on thy knees, thank the holy gods as loud as thunder threatens us. This is Marina. What was thy mother's name? Tell me but that, for truth can never be confirmed enough, though doubts did ever sleep. First, sir, I pray, what is your title? I am Pericles of Tyre, but tell me now my drowned queen's name, as in the rest you said. Thou hast been godlike perfect, the heir of kingdoms, and another life to Pericles thy father. Is it no more to be your daughter than to say my mother's name was Thaisa? Thaisa was my mother, who did end the minute I began. Now blessing on thee, rise, thou'rt my child. Give me fresh garments, mine own Helicanus. She is not dead at Tharsus as she should have been by savage Cleon. She shall tell thee all when thou shalt kneel and justify in knowledge she is thy very princess. Who is this? Sir, 'tis the governor of Metylene, who, hearing of your melancholy state, did come to see you. I embrace you, give me my robes, I am wild in my beholding. O heavens, bless my girl! But hark, what music! Tell Helicanus, my Marina, tell him over point by point, for yet he seems to dote, how sure you are my daughter. But what music! My lord, I hear none. None? The music of the spheres. List, my Marina. It is not good to cross him. Give him way. Rarest sounds, do ye not hear? Music, my lord, I hear. Most heavenly music. It nips me unto listening, and thick slumber hangs upon mine eyes. Let me rest. A pillow for his head, so leave him all. Well, my companion friends, if this but answer to my just belief, I'll well remember you. My temple stands in Ephesus, hie thee thither, and do upon mine altar sacrifice. There, when my maiden priests are met together before the people all, reveal how thou at sea didst lose thy life. To mourn thy crosses with thy daughters call, and give them repetition to thy life. Or perform my bidding, or thou livest in woe. Do it, and happy by my silver bow. Awake and tell thy dream. Celestial Dian, goddess Argentine, I will obey thee, Helicanus. Sir, my purpose was for Tharsus, there to strike the inhospitable Cleon, but I am for other service first. Toward Ephesus turn our blown sails. Eftsoons I'll tell thee why. Shall we refresh us, sir, upon your shore, and give you gold for such provision as our intents will need? Sir, with all my heart, and when you come ashore, I have another suit. You shall prevail, were it to woo my daughter, for it seems you have been noble towards her. Sir, lend me your arm. Come, my Marina. Scene 2. The Temple of Diana at Ephesus. Thaisa standing near the altar as high priestess, a number of virgins on each side, Saramon and other inhabitants of Ephesus attending. Enter Gower. Now our sands are almost run, more a little and then dumb. This my last boon give me, for such kindness must relieve me. That you aptly will suppose, what pageantry, what feats, what shows, what minstrelsy, what pretty din, the regent made in Metylene, to greet the king. So he thrived, that he is promised to be wived to fair Marina, but in no wise, till he had done his sacrifice. As Dian bade, whereto being bound, the interim pray you all confound. In feathered briefness sails are filled, and wishes fall out as they're willed. At Ephesus the temple see, our king and all his company. That he can hither come so soon, is by your fancy's thankful doom. Scene 2. Enter Pericles with his train, Lysimachus, Helicanus, Marina, and a lady. Pericles. Hail, Dian! To perform thy just command, I here confess myself the king of Tyre, who frighted from my country did wed at Pentapolis the fair Thaisa. At sea in childbed died she, but brought forth a maid child called Marina, whom, O goddess, wears yet thy silver livery. She at Tharsis was nursed with Cleon, who at 14 years he sought to murder, but her better stars brought her to Metylene, against whose shore riding her fortunes brought the maid aboard us, where by her own most clear remembrance she made known herself my daughter. Voice and favor, you are, O royal Pericles. What means the nun? She dies, help, gentlemen. Noble sir, if you have told Diana's altar true, this is your wife. Reverend appearer, no, I threw her overboard with these very arms. Upon this coast I warrant you, 'tis most certain. Look to the lady, oh, she's but overjoyed. Early in blustering morn this lady was thrown upon this shore. I oped the coffin, found there rich jewels, recovered her, and placed her here in Diana's temple. May we see them? Great sir, they shall be brought you to my house, whither I invite you. Look, Thaisa is recovered. Oh, let me look. If he be none of mine, my sanctity will to my sense bend no licentious ear. But curb it, spite of seeing, O my lord. Are you not Pericles? Like him you spake, like him you are. Did you not name a tempest, a birth, and a death? The voice of dead Thaisa. That Thaisa am I, supposed dead and drowned, immortal Dian. Now I know you better. When we with tears parted Pentapolis, the king my father gave you such a ring. This, no more, you gods. Your present kindness makes my past miseries sports. You shall do well, that on the touching of her lips I may melt, and no more be seen. Oh, come, be buried a second time within these arms. My heart leaps to be gone into my mother's bosom. Look who kneels here, flesh of thy flesh, Thaisa, thy burden at the sea, and called Marina, for she was yielded there. Blessed and mine own, hail, madame, and my queen. I know you not. You have heard me say, when I did fly from Tyre, I left behind an ancient substitute. Can you remember what I called the man? I have named him oft. 'Twas Helicanus then. Still confirmation, embrace him, dear Thaisa, this is he. Now do I long to hear how you were found, how possibly preserved, and who to thank besides the gods for this great miracle. Lord Cerimon, my lord, this man through whom the gods have shown their power, that can from first to last resolve you. Reverend sir, the gods can have no mortal officer more like a god than you. Will you deliver how this dead queen relives? I will, my lord. Beseech you first go with me to my house, where shall be shown you all was found with her, how she came placed here in the temple, no needful thing omitted. Pure Dian, I bless thee for thy vision, and will offer night oblations to thee. Thaisa, this prince, the fair betrothed of your daughter, shall marry her at Pentapolis. And now this ornament makes me look dismal, will I clip to form, and what this 14 years no razor touched, to grace thy marriage day I'll beautify. Lord Cerimon hath letters of good credit, sir, my father's dead. Heavens, make a star of him, yet there my queen will celebrate their nuptials, and ourselves will in that kingdom spend our following days. Our son and daughter shall in Tyre reign. Lord Cerimon, we do our longing stay to hear the rest untold. Sir leads the way. Gower. In Antiochus and his daughter you have heard of monstrous lust, the due and just reward. In Pericles his queen and daughter seen, although assailed with fortune fierce and keen, virtue preserved from fell destruction's blast, led on by heaven and crowned with joy at last. In Helicanus may you well descry a figure of truth, of faith, of loyalty. In reverend Cerimon there well appears the worth that learned charity aye wears. For wicked Cleon and his wife, when fame had spread his cursed deed, the honored name of Pericles to rage the city turn, that him and his they in his palace burn. The gods for murder seemed so content to punish, although not done but meant. So on your patience evermore attending, new joy wait on you. Here our play has ending. End of Pericles, Prince of Tyre. Amen. Praise be to God. Jesus Christ. Jah Rastafari.